This boy called when he saw the scene in front of him. The mouth is drooling. A girl with a very sexy body on the other side was changing her clothes. He hung up the phone quickly, enjoying this mesmerizing scene. The girl suddenly turned around and found the boy. Soon she came to the door. It turned out that she was a relative of the neighbor's. The neighbor was on a trip and asked her to help him with the house. The girl's name was Emma. She asked Jack out on a date. However, Emma makes Jack run naked with a swimming ring. This crazy act doesn't turn Jack off. Instead, he falls under Emma's spell. Emma was also interested in this young man. She even gave him a self-portrait. The relationship between the two quickly grows. They were still in love when they got home. The next day Emma comes to pick up Jack from school to skip class. They met a traffic cop on the way to check the car. Emma gave him a sweet kiss. Emma's sweet kiss directly made the traffic cop lose himself. In the evening Emma took Jack to a swimming pool in front of him to change clothes. Jack said, "You play so exciting?" Just jumped into the water. Jack found out that this is the principal's house. He rushed to take Emma and run away. Then they went to his friend's house. The friend was envious of Jack's ability to chase such a sexy goddess. They went to an open-air party hosted by their classmates. The first time to go to such a party, Jack looked very uncomfortable, and some bad students in the class were there. Seeing that Jack has such a beautiful girlfriend, they just send Jack away to create a chance to spend time alone with Emma. Watching his goddess being stolen, Jack couldn't stand it anymore. He got up the courage to go up to Emma and kissed her. The two of them instantly became the focus of the audience, but it didn't last long. A friend suddenly found Jack. He brought out a videotape and showed it to him. Emma appeared on the tape. It turns out that she was once the goddess of the AV industry. This is hard for Jack to accept, but his friend advised him that even if he couldn't be his girlfriend, can also do something else off. This boy took the otaku goddess of AV world to the hotel for a date. The goddess took off her top as soon as she walked in the door. This makes the untouched Jack a little overwhelmed. By now Emma is ready for Jack's attack. She asks him if you're not going to do something about it. She saw that Jack had something on his mind. She gets angry and walks out of the hotel. It turns out that Jack already knows what she used to do for a living, but his attitude made Emma sad because she found out that she had fallen in love with Jack. The next day Jack came to Emma's door to apologize. He saw Emma's former boss, Alan, in the same room. He's ready to talk Emma back into her old job. After learning of Jack and Emma's relationship, Alan took Jack to the bar to teach him how to get along with girls. And Jack tells him he's doing something big. It was to help raise money for a gifted boy with cancer. In the end, Jack couldn't stop Emma from going back to her old job. Looking at Emma in the distance, he decided to fight for the love of his life. He took his two young men with him and drove to the bar. He saw Emma performing on stage. Jack expresses his love to Emma again. Emma came up to him and told him to go home. "This is not a place for kids like you." Jack said, "I only love you for the rest of my life. I don't care what you do." Then he hands Emma a note and turns to leave. Emma opens it. It was a self-portrait that she had given him. When he got home, Jack was lost. He heard a knock at the door and turned around. It was Emma. She was still impressed by Jack's sincerity, but that cost Alan $30,000. He beat Jack up. Then he took out a bottle of milk candy and forced Jack to eat it. Then he threw him out in the middle of nowhere. Jack rushed to call his friends to pick him up because the school graduation speech was coming up in a few minutes. When he got into the car, Jack suddenly felt hot. It turned out that what Alan gave him was not a milk candy, it was an aphrodisiac. But the graduation speech was about to begin. They had to go into the venue with their heads up their asses. This guy is really brave. How dare he hook up with the principal and forcibly kissed his classmate's girlfriend, watching his classmate's speech on stage. But he was laughing off stage just now. He was given a full bottle of aphrodisiacs. Now he was in a state of euphoria when he came on stage to give his speech. Looking at the hidden speech, Jack directly threw away the speech. He confessed his love for Emma in the form of a speech, and this wonderful confession received a big round of applause from everyone. The next day Jack came to pick up the money, only to be told that Ellen had taken it in the name of the student advisor. Now he had to get the money back. Otherwise, he would not be able to graduate. The moment of truth. A friend comes up with a brilliant plan for Jack. Jack brings Emma to the prom. His friends are accompanied by two sexy goddesses, but they're not just here for the prom. To find the leading man of an adult documentary. It turns out that the friend's plan is for Jack to contact a big shot in the movie industry, to invest in an adult documentary, and then have Emma find a former colleague to pose as his friend's dance partner, to act as the female lead in the documentary. They quickly chose 3 of their classmates. The friend brought them to the shooting site. The 3 were stunned by the scene before them. This is a scene that can only be seen in the video, but the 3 people had diarrhea at the critical moment because too nervous cannot be done. Jack had no choice but to do it himself. But Jack at this time remembered Emma. He did not want to betray Emma. In the end, he chose to give up, but that meant Jack couldn't get the money, and he couldn't graduate. At the critical moment, his friend came forward again. The documentary was successfully shot. On the way back, Jack and Emma let themselves go in the car, but Alan told the principal about last night's incident. The principal came to Jack's house to ask questions. Jack had to release the content of the documentary. It's actually an educational film about men and women. It teaches students about the safety issues that should be taken into account between men and women. Once Jack's educational film was released, Jack's educational film was very well received by everyone. He also paid back the charity money. He was also accepted to the college of his choice, of course, and the goddess he loves so much. Can they keep going so sweetly?